Hello and welcome to Gastric Sleeve Pal. My name's Anne-Marie and I have a gastric sleeve. Welcome to this channel that's full of information, tips, advice and knowledge. I will be working with my team from time to time, who are a medical team that performed my gastric sleeve. Why? Because I was so inspired by the care and the opportunity to have a sleeve that I think I contribute most of that to them. So in dedication to them, I approached them and asked them would they work with me on a YouTube channel. They're going to give the medical support as and when it's needed, the kind of questions to show you around the hospital, to give you an idea of what to expect, to show you what happens, to show you the kind of environment, the time you spend, how it all works, how they'll talk to you, the kind of tests that they will run pre having surgery, and what it's going to be like post-surgery. So there's going to be lots and lots of different videos. But what's it all about? Well, my journey started with the opportunity to see a friend of mine who I hadn't seen in a while, and she went through a massive transformation physically. She was tiny, and petite and young looking and healthy and looked fantastic. I couldn't actually believe my eyes at seeing somebody go through such a physical transformation. So we talked and I asked lots of questions and she answered my questions, and it became clear to me that I wanted to have this done. So I asked, could I have some help in finding how to go about having a sleeve. Luckily for me, I live in Turkey and my friend is Turkish and she speaks very good English, and so she got on the phone and she rang the hospital and spoke to a doctor who answered a lot of the questions that she knew I wanted to know. From that point on, having had a brief conversation in Turkish with the doctor, she got off the phone and said he will ring you in a couple of hours. I'm going to fill in everything that I can for you with the information that he's just told me, and you can have a chat with him yourself, which is exactly what happened. So my friend told me what it was like for her, and more importantly, the price. I couldn't believe how cheap it was, to be honest. It was £2,000 for me back in March 2018. And I've spent that on books, fad diets, boxes of do this kit and buy this food, get this equipment, go into training to do this, you know, I'd done it all, but nothing was actually helping me. And I was feeling very stuck and very unhappy, very old, and most of all stuck. And I'm a very positive person, so for me this part of my life I couldn't understand why it was starting to become a bit miserable. And you know, I'd resigned myself to the fact that I was stuck, but I kept trying and I kept getting miserable and I kept getting knocked back, and even if I lost the weight I put it back on. So it's like, okay, I wanted to try something different, and this was affordable and this was available to me. So I did speak with the doctor and it was wonderful. We spoke on WhatsApp. He spoke beautiful English, and he was able to actually put me at ease and make it that it was possible for me to go off and do some research if I wanted to. And it was the availability, and my biggest question was, look, I am about 5 or 6 stone overweight. Is that enough? Is my BMI going to be high enough, as in to have this? Because, you know, people say, oh, you're not that bad. Well, yes, I was. Yes, I was really unhappy. You know, my stomach was just a balloon. And, you know, I'll be showing you some before and afters in future videos so that you can see the transformation. Also, you know, after the transformation, people have actually said to me, oh my goodness, I didn't recognise you, and they really do mean that. I can see the shock on their faces. Even when I visit the hospital and I went back there in September. I could see the genuine kind of wow, and I was not quite at my goal weight. Nobody knew what my goal weight was going to be, I suppose. You hope it's going to be what they kind of calculate that you might be. Luckily for me, they said 60 kilos, and I got right down from 94 kilos to 60 kilos. I achieved that from March 2018, and I became 60 kilos exactly on the 2nd of February, which was exactly 11 months to the day of my surgery. I'm going to be explaining that journey to you. We'll be talking about everything from your research to being curious about having a sleeve or really wanting it done, answering your questions. How's it going to change your life? Will you be able to cope without your comfort blanket? Will you be happy? How will your family treat you? How will your friends treat you? Will you be able to go to work, as in, you know, and eat food amongst your colleagues and your friends and your family in a normal way? Yes, you can. And I'll be telling you about all of that. This is going to be something, there'll be different videos about different topics, and I do hope it will help you. What it's like from the beginning, right up into the present day, which is, I'm now in October 2019, and I have maintained being 60 kilos since February the 2nd. It kind of sometimes drops a kilo, so I've become 59 kilos, and sometimes it goes up to 61. And the reason for that usually is that on the days it goes up, I keep a food diary every day, and I would advise you to do that. And we'll be talking about all of this, all to come in the future videos. I can look and see that on the days that I kind of go up a little, that I've had something that my body probably doesn't need, doesn't want, and you know, I've tried it and that's it. So it's proof to me that if I carried on with, shall we say, bread or pasta or rice or whatever it is that I've noted, that's what I've had. And I don't eat those things generally. I don't have enough room. You've got a sleeve, it's tiny, and you know, you're going to be eating such a small portion, but you can make that food lovely and nutritious, and I'm going to be showing you how. Now, I don't like cooking, but I like food, and I would honestly and genuinely say that I enjoy the taste of food better now than I ever have in my entire life. Why? Number one, I make sure that it's delicious, and I make sure that first and foremost it's nutritious. So what's going to be the key factor that's going to make it that I am well and healthy and my well-being is in check physically, intellectually, emotionally and spiritually, because we're all energy. It's to do with having protein and making that your priority, so that you have your energy and so that your body is capable of functioning. And then if there's room, then it would be things like vegetables. I eat lots of spinach and a variety of vegetables, and how I cook them, you wait and see. Okay, and as I said, I do not like cooking, but I make it so that it's easy, tasty and delicious. It won't be for everybody's palate, but I'll be trying to show you some alternatives so that maybe there's something there for everybody. So we're going to be looking at different videos for different topics. We'll be going through, does it hurt? What happens when you're in hospital? How long does it take? When can I go back to work? Do I have to tell people? Can I keep it a secret? Yes, you can. I didn't tell anybody, only my partner, and nobody really knows. And here I am today deciding that it is time to share with people that value and appreciate the fact that you want weight loss surgery, to be able to have the answers to the questions that I had. And I had so many questions. I did a lot of research. I spoke to my friend who'd had weight loss surgery an awful lot. I spoke to the doctor, I bought books, I looked at videos, I went on YouTube, and I've had to go through a lot of research to find and a lot of YouTube videos, which have all been really great, but you know, it wasn't all in one place, and sometimes you just don't have time. My surgery, once I actually spoke to the doctor, I decided to go ahead and have it done in January 2018. And you noticed that I said I didn't have my sleeve until March. That's because when I went to have my surgery, in the pre-op tests, they came up with the fact that there was a complication, and the complication was investigated, and it was found that in an ultrasound that I had tumours on my thyroid. It kind of didn't come as a surprise to me because I'd been feeling pretty awful, really, and put it all down to the weight and maybe the menopause. I'm 55 and feeling so unhealthy. I thought it was all to do with all those excuses I've just mentioned, which it probably could have been as well. I'm not denying that, but the thyroid had a lot to answer for and I didn't know. And the tumours were, luckily for me, discovered by my professor, who went on to do my sleeve in March, but first of all said, no, we cannot go ahead with your sleeve. We must take care of this. It's very serious. I was devastated because I wanted my sleeve, and I thought, ready. And I was, but not as ready as I was when it came to the time that I went in March. And that was because I did further research. But I also made sure that I had these tumours removed, which it was found that they were calcium, and they took away my parathyroid, my thyroid, and hey presto, 8 weeks later, I was back in on my journey. I went by bus. I live in Turkey and it was 3 hours away, so I went by bus. And I got myself to the hospital. It'll be different for people that are travelling internationally. There is a pickup service, as in from the airport, and the airport is very close to the hospital, should you want to have your surgery done in the Antalya Obesity Centre with Professor Bulbulair. Your choice entirely. As I said, the price was amazing. I was blessed with the fact that he is one of the most genuine, sincere fellows I've ever met in my life. I have a huge respect for him. He is somebody that cares deeply, and just his very energy just helps you get, you know, through what can be a scary time because you're going through something that you've never been through before. And I put that down to my research and their care and their duty and attention. And I am so blessed that they took care of what was the priority, which was getting rid of these calcium tumours, which were huge. So here we are. And I had my surgery done in March. And I'm going to go through how it was leading up to that surgery. Not so much my personal, what happened to me, but to give you some advice, to give you some pointers, to give you some tips, to help you prepare. Because I honestly feel that the preparation is what's made this so easy. I have not for one day, and that is absolutely gospel for me, I can't tell you how much I mean this, never regretted having this sleeve. It is the thing that I say thank you for every single day, and I really do mean that. I do say thank you because I appreciate it and I value it. I feel it's important for myself to acknowledge my well-being and my health. So I've lost 34 kilos, which is 75 pounds, or in stones, it's 5 stone 3. And I'm only 5'3". I am 55. And yes, I feel younger. People tell me I look younger, which is very kind of them. What we'll be looking at what we can eat, exercise, creams, hair loss, shampoo. I'll do some get ready with me. I'll show you some exercises. I'll show you how you can incorporate having a sleeve into your life so that you can just get on with it. So it's really important that what I do with you is give you the quickest version and the simplest version and the healthiest version of everything that I do. If you enjoyed our introduction video, and I do hope that you did, there's loads more videos that I'm going to be sharing with you. This was just a little introduction to say hello and to let you know what it's all going to be about. So what's changed? Absolutely everything. And life is easy and it's smooth. It's all in the preparation and the planning. And I'm here to take some of that headache out of what goes on in your mind, of how you're going to cope and what it's going to be like. It's easy, believe me. I will be sharing with you the tips and the tricks and the preparation and how to get it right so that you're well. I appreciate that you probably have a busy lifestyle like me, whether you've got a family or whether you've got a job. So please press the subscribe button and press the button for the bell that will alert you to the next time that we upload a video for your information so that you don't miss a thing.